Hello and welcome to the first episode of Aaron Walker Art Talk. My name is Aaron Walker, and I'm here with Jerrod Harlan, a fellow praxis participant. How you doing, Jerrod?
Doing well. How about yourself, Aaron?
I'm doing great. So for the first episode, you picked out It's Too Much. Why don't you go ahead and explain why you picked that one?
So this was the first one that I picked, or one of the first ones that I picked, just because I kind of really like how much is going on with it. There is some imagery that I couldn't even really begin to guess what it's about. So that intrigued me to kind of explore your mind as to where the imagery came from and what really the meaning is behind of it. So,
well, that's kind of easy enough to answer. Typically when people look at this, they think that it's about like the Illuminati. Like they see like the Eye of Providence, and that's the first, like, so I sell this at art markets and it's one of my best selling pieces. And people always come up and they're like, it's the Illuminati, but it's actually more geared towards the NSA, GCHQ, and dragnet surveillance and surveillance culture. So the impetus for it was I was in college, which was 2 years after this big Snowden leak happened, right? And so that was so fresh in my mind. And I was getting into cryptography and like the Tor browser and all these things. Bitcoin was going on. And so there's a particular video that I'll put in the link, put in the description down below, that is Jacob Applebaum at the 3CO3 conference talking about this big leak from Der Spiegel. And so it was this leak of NSA files that went over like the different capabilities that they had in the actual machines that they used. And it's like sci-fi stuff. So they have one where it's like your computer's turned off and like in your desk. They fly a drone a mile above your house and they radiate it. And from that, they can glean information that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. Like the totalizing ability that like global surveillance apparatus has is difficult to contemplate. You could say it's too much, right? And so I wanted to embody this symbolically. And it's like, well, what symbols are you going to use? And so I chose like the Eye of Providence, which is the same symbol as the Eye of Horus in ancient Egyptian mythology, because it's this totalizing knowledge. It's knowledge itself. It's an eye, right? It's what you use to perceive the world. And so, yeah, that was the impetus behind it.
Okay. So it's kind of funny because the other thing that drew me to it, besides it being just kind of spectacular and how much is going on with it, is before we were talking about how I'm not a technology person, right? So I kind of identify with this picture on a different level, because whenever I try and learn something new, like a new skill set online, building a website or anything like that, I kind of feel like that same thing. Like it's too much. I just can't get a grasp of how much is going on with this, with all the things going on with online.
Right. I think that we've all felt that way, like at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, just for reference, I actually have the original here. It's about that big. It's a little bit bigger than 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
So it's fairly detailed. Oh, another thing, just for the audience on YouTube, if you like this piece or any of my other pieces, you can purchase them for a very small fee at store.davidaaronwalker.com. Like you have to get like the shameless plugin.
Absolutely. I mean, what is it without pitching something? It's nothing.
Right. You have to have a funnel.
You absolutely do. I live by the fact that nothing is for free and that free is not valuable. So always pitch something. I always say that. So, okay. I'm sorry. What did you say?
I was going to ask you if you had any more questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. How long did that take you? And what was it done with?
I think that it took, like I spent a long time on it. There's really intricate line work. I'm going to say it took like maybe 3 to 6 hours. Okay. So I started with like a graphite underdrawing and pencil. And in this particular one, it's just pen and ink, right? So going over it with different sizes of Copic markers, basically just varying in thickness. So you start with like kind of the darkest parts, and you fill those in, and then you come back in to get like a texture. And so there's very tiny lines that cover just about every square inch of the picture. So yeah.
Okay, cool. That's so was that one of your first styles of art that you picked up, was like the pencil art?
Yeah, I think that I'm kind of a neurotic type. And so like when I'm doing when I actually started, it was much more intricate than that, much more kind of chaotic, which is going over and over it. And then in any of my sketches or any of my pictures, I would just go over and over it. At the beginning, it would be so complex and so muddled that like you wouldn't want to look at it, right? But like I think now I know when to stop.
Yeah. You know, that's a huge thing too. I'm not artistic by any means. Like visually, I'm a musician, right? So anytime I've ever tried to draw something or paint something, you just don't know. I never know when to stop, and things just become so cluttered that there's this almost skill with just being able to figure out when it's simple enough versus when it's too simple or when there's too much going on.
I think the saying is like the perfect is the enemy of the good.
Yes. Yep. But that goes with that whole praxis thing, which is, just get it out there.
For sure.
So let's see. I may have another question. Let me see here. Was there any particular reason that you decided to not make it color, that you just left it black and white?
I don't believe so. I think I just was doing the black and white. It's not really black and white. There is actually a lot of blue going on, and I went back over it with these white kind of pencils, but not this time. Generally, like I consider myself a impressionist or like a post-impressionist painter, and so when I'm painting, colors typically come into play a lot, but in illustrations, less so. Jerrod, is that about it?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Well, all right. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Sounds good. Thanks, Aaron.